Hey, Salvatore Brigman here. Welcome back to the First Site Guide YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about growing a blog from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. How do you accomplish that? How do you go from 0 to 1,000? I'm sharing with you the straightest path to success, and I'm sharing it with you on today's video. Okay, so let's get started. If you're trying to grow a blog from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, it can seem like night and day. It can be extremely scary. It can be intimidating, right? It's like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get there. Well, I wanna kind of give you a little bit more confidence on today's video, as well as some practical advice and tips for being able to get to this big milestone, which is your first 1,000 people that are following you online, the beginning, parts of your tribe. The first way is to make it a little bit easier on yourself, right? So when I was getting started with my own blog, I thought that people would follow me just because, I don't know, I'm putting out content, right? Because I have interesting thoughts maybe, because people like my writing. Like, it was very me-centric when I was first getting started with blogging, because that's how most authors are, most writers are, most people who want to share. We think that we have good things to say, so maybe people will also think that, right? And you'll build a little bit of subscriber base that way. But more often than not, it pays dividends to think about the other person that you're talking with, the actual reader of your content. And when you begin to work backwards from that individual, it becomes a heck of a lot easier. So for example, let's just say that you're trying to accomplish a task. You're trying to become more fit, right? You could say something like, hey, subscribe to my blog for updates about becoming fit. And some people might. Or you could say something like, why don't you go and download my free cheat sheet, which shares with you a simple 7-day plan. Every single day, eat these foods, these superfoods. Over the course of the next 3 months, you're gonna lose 10 pounds of body fat. So if you can think of something that people are gonna want to hear, so maybe an eating schedule or an exercise schedule, or the top 10 superfoods that are gonna revitalize their metabolism and have them burning fat faster. If you are able to think of what I call a lead magnet and provide that for free, and in exchange, they hand over their email address and their name, then you're growing your subscribers much more rapidly because you're working backwards from what that reader really wants, rather than you coming to them and saying, subscribe because I know what I'm talking about, or subscribe for updates about things that I have going on and articles that I'm thinking about. Instead, you're working backwards and saying, what do you want? You want this? If you want something for free, here, just leave your name and email and join the email list. The second is to promote the heck out of that lead magnet. The early stages of my blog, I didn't really know how to promote it, right? But one of the easiest ways is the same way that advertisers will use your blog. So think about this for just a second. When you have an advertiser on your blog, why are they doing that? Why are they willing to advertise? And I think when we're in the early days, it's like, I think it's insane that someone would be willing to spend money to advertise on my blog, right? Because it's only getting like a couple thousand views or even a couple hundred views. Like, why would someone spend money? The reason is that people actually do click on ads, right? So your blog is kind of like a home base. Traffic is coming in to that home base. People are checking out your links. They're checking out your articles. At the same time, they're checking out the different banners that are on the site. If it recommends something that's relevant to them and it can solve one of their problems. So the easiest way to begin to promote that lead magnet is to include it on your blog, whether it's in your navigation bar, in your sidebar, within your blog post, at the end of the blog post. The more you can promote that lead magnet on your blog, you're already taking advantage of all the traffic that's coming there. So why not promote the heck out of it that way? And as well, it's no longer than just like a third-party resource. It's one that the author, you, have put together with the reader in mind. The third is kind of like a little bit more of an advanced technique. And, I'm kind of in the more of the idea of, I really like to have the big picture when I'm going into something. And I want to know, what's not going to be just this step, what's going to be the next step and the next step and the next step. And this is actually one of the things that really frustrated me when I was younger and I was going to school, because in school, they will give you the teachings that are related to that particular class, or that are related to the next test, or that are related to this particular season of learning, like this semester in school. But they never paint for you the big picture, which is, how does learning geometry fit into your life plan? How does learning calculus fit into who you want to become or the profession that you want to go into? They're always focused on the very narrow. And when you begin to think a little bit more bigger picture, you can then see how all of these different pieces of the puzzle fit into your future as a blogger. So what I want to introduce you to is this idea of creating a landing page. And here's why. When you're linking out to, let's just say, an article that you've written or something like that, someone stumbles on your blog, they go and they see all these different articles, they're clicking around, that's awesome. You're getting more page views, you're making more ad revenue. But at the same time, that kind of a website format is not optimized to get someone to just do one thing. And that one thing maybe is to leave their name and email in order to join your subscriber base, or to download a free report, a checklist, a guide of some kind, so that you can gather their contact information. So what experienced marketers like myself, what we do is, rather than sending people to our main blog, we send them to a landing page. Now, a landing page is basically a website page that's optimized for one thing. And that one thing is to get someone to leave their name and email, to get them to leave their contact information in exchange for providing something useful, whether it's a free consultation or a free guide or something like that, a checklist, right? That's the main purpose of a landing page. There are a lot of good softwares out there. Lead Pages is one that I use, and there's some that are built into WordPress. You can look up WordPress plugins and stuff like that. That might be a little bit advanced for you at this stage. It might not be. I'm not sure where you are with this whole blogging journey of yours, but it is something you should be aware of, is that sometimes having a blog is the best way to monetize and create, generate traffic and stuff. Other times you might want to have more of a dedicated website page on your overall website that's just designed for one thing, which is to get people to become one of your subscribers. Number 4 is to begin to start driving traffic. Begin to drive traffic. And this is the obviously the most important part, because you could be trying to fish. Like, let's just say there's a stream that goes into a lake, right? And you're by the stream and you're trying to wait there and you're trying to fish, but no fish are coming down the stream. You're gonna go home that night and you're not gonna have any food to feed your family because there was no fish in the stream, right? But there's a lot of fish going down that stream into the lake, and they're kind of flapping around, and there are lots of them there. It's almost overflowing the entire riverbed. Well, it's going to be really easy. Even if you're an inexperienced fisherman, you can still take some fish home to feed your family. You don't have to be a professional fisherman in order to do really well if there already are a lot of fish, right? In the ocean or in the lake or in whatever, with this analogy, right? Same thing holds true with blogging. You could be horrible at knowing how to convert a visitor into a subscriber, but if you have enough visitors, it almost doesn't matter, right? Even if you're only capturing like 0.5% and you have a lot of visitors, you're still gonna grow your subscriber base over time. So you need to always be optimizing, obviously, for getting subscribers, but at the same time, be working religiously, driving traffic to your website in the form of promoting articles, sharing them on social media, doing things like blasting them out on your newsletter. There are a lot of different ways in social media groups, LinkedIn, emailing them to people, having it as a description link, signature in your email, right? So many different ways to drive traffic, but you got to make sure that you're simultaneously doing both. I know this is kind of difficult to think about, but it's almost like they're a parallel process. You have to do both at the same time. And if you can do that, you can master that, it's an unlimited potential for you as a blogger, because then you're driving tons of traffic, you're getting more and more subscribers. The more subscribers you get, the easier it is to drive traffic. And it's this really cool karmic positive cycle where you're getting more traffic, you're getting subscribers, which allows you to get more traffic and more subscribers. And eventually you can just keep generating revenue. And it's a really healthy cycle to be in. It's a very strong upward positive cycle, I would say. Eventually, as you become more advanced as a blogger and you have things like services and digital products and that kind of stuff, you can also start to experiment with paid advertising in order to drive traffic to a landing page, in order to drive traffic to some of your blog pages that maybe are more profitable with affiliate links, etc. So I wouldn't start there, but I just want to kind of paint the picture of what the future can be. All of the skills that you're learning right now on the First Site Guide YouTube channel that I am sharing with you as we are speaking right now are applicable in the future. Going back to my school example, you might learn geometry and never use it again. It plays no part in your future. There is no big picture when it comes to that. Same thing with calculus. Unless you're becoming an engineer, which a very small percentage of the population actually is, it plays absolutely no part in your future. However, when it comes to blogging, every single thing that you are learning on this channel not only will increase the amount of money that you make in the future, but also be skills that you continue to draw on years down the road, which make you into a professional blogger. Hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Sal, and I will see you next time.
If you found this video helpful, please click the like button below and subscribe to our channel for more useful content.